So I posted about the Phoenix housing market last week, and some of the comments were a little crazy. So let's actually break this down because a lot of people have some things wrong. The first comment said this is 2006 all over again, and that the trillions handed out during COVID inflated the market. Here's the problem with that take. The COVID stimulus was roughly $4 to $5 trillion total, but the majority of that went to businesses through PPP loans and to lower income households through enhanced unemployment and direct relief payments, averaging just $1,400 per person. That's not home buying money. The people purchasing homes in 2020 to 2022 were already employed professionals with stable incomes, remote work flexibility, and historically low rates between 2 and 3%, locking them in. Those two groups, they barely overlap. And here's the biggest difference between now and 2006. In 2006, we had a foreclosure crisis fueled by subprime lending, no-doc loans, and zero equity. Buyers were handed mortgages they could never afford. Foreclosure rates are near historic lows, and that's not changing anytime soon. Why? Because there's a massive amount of private equity and investor capital sitting on the sidelines ready to deploy. They will buy distressed properties long before most homeowners ever reach foreclosure. That safety net simply did not exist in 2006. This is not that. Then someone said to just wait until prices match 2008 because Phoenix people would never buy anything past 2014, and we're in for an amazing crash. Let me explain why that does not make sense, specifically for us in Phoenix. Phoenix in 2008 crashed for very specific reasons. Reckless speculation, zero down subprime loans, massive overbuilding, and buyers who never should have qualified in the first place. When the music stopped, there was a flood of foreclosures and zero demand to absorb them. That's not what's happening today. Phoenix has been one of the fastest growing metro areas in the country for years. People are still relocating here from California, the Pacific Northwest, and the Northeast for our cost of living, jobs, and lifestyle. That demand, it's not going to evaporate overnight. Builders still can't build fast enough to meet the demand. Unlike 2008, we don't have a ghost town surplus of empty homes waiting to flood the market. And the job market here is strong. Major employers like TSMC, Intel, and Amazon, they've invested billions into the Phoenix metro. Those are high-paying jobs, bringing high-income buyers into this market every single month. On top of that, most homeowners today are sitting on significant equity. They're not underwater like 2008 borrowers were. Even if someone needs to sell, they can do that without a foreclosure dragging the whole market down. And the people that said they would never buy past 2014, they've been saying that since 2015 and 2016 and 2018 and 2021. The ones who waited are still renting, while the ones who bought, they built some serious wealth. The crash crowd has been calling for this for over a decade, and at some point you have to ask, how much equity have you missed out on waiting for a crash that has never come? Now this last comment I actually respect, because it's more thoughtful. They said the 2020 to 2022 market was driven by low interest rates, creating low supply and high demand. And that today is the opposite, high rates with high supply and low demand. And they cautioned against expecting another run like 2021. Here's where I agree with them, and here's where I push back. They are right that the environments are different, but the high supply and low demand characterization is not quite accurate, at least not here in Arizona. What we're actually experiencing is a frozen market, not a flooded one. The reason supply feels higher is not because there are too many homes, it's because homeowners locked into 2.5% to 3.5% rates simply aren't selling. They cannot afford to trade into a 6 or 7% mortgage. That's not high supply, it's actually suppressed inventory and suppressed demand happening all at the same time. And here's where it gets really interesting. The moment rates come down meaningfully, both sides of that equation unlock simultaneously. Sellers re-enter the market, but so does the massive wave of sideline buyers who have been waiting. That's not a recipe for price dropping, it's actually a recipe for another surge in competition. Am I saying we'll see the same historic run-up as 2021? No. That was a once-in-a-generation event fueled by a perfect storm. But steady appreciation driven by population growth, job market expansion, and constrained new construction is still very much on the table, especially here in Phoenix. The deals that exist right now are real, but the windows where buyers have negotiating power tends to close a lot faster than most people expect. Look, I'm not here to tell you the market is perfect. Rates are higher than any of us would like, but I'm here to tell you that waiting for 2008 prices in one of the fastest growing cities in America is not a strategy. It's just watching from the sidelines while other people build wealth. You can marry the house and you can date the rate. When rates come down, you refinance. But if you wait and prices go up, you've permanently paid more for the house and you still will be competing with everyone else who waited. If you want to actually understand what is happening in the Phoenix market and figuring out what your options look like right now, the link's in my bio. Let's get on a call and talk about it.